Choosing the right RAM for your Ryzen build is key to maximizing performance. In this guide, we'll explore the best RAM options, from high-speed models to sleek, RGB-lit designs, all optimized for Ryzen processors. Whether you're a budget-conscious builder or aiming for top-tier performance, these picks will ensure smooth, efficient computing. Let's take a look at our top choices. Number 5. G.Skill 16GB DDR4 TridentZ Royal Silver 3200 MHz. The is the RAM that any rapper building his own PC would go for. Without a doubt. We have picked the silver version here, but yes, it also comes in gold, Google it. The G.Skill TridentZ series is a particular favorite among Ryzen enthusiasts, since they have a higher chance of using Samsung B dies. We'll explain why this matters in the buying guide below. Even without that, though, these TridentZ RAM sticks are rated to reach up to 3200 MHz, good for any Ryzen build, but especially good for a Ryzen APU build. Set aside 2 GB or so for the iGPU and you'll be in business for a surprisingly strong 1080p gaming experience, even with some modern AAA games. The CAS latency is well balanced with the 3200 MHz speed here, so that shouldn't cause any problems, either. If you are the kind of hobbyist that likes their builds to match beautifully though, good luck finding a GPU and MOBO to match with these bad boys. Brand G.Skill. Computer memory size 16 GB. RAM memory technology DDR4. Memory speed 3200 metric tons per second. Compatible devices desktop. About this item. G.Skill TridentZ Royal Series Silver. DDR4-3200 CL16-18-18-38 1.35 V 16 GB, 2x8 GB. XMP 2.0 profile support to reach up to the rated overclock speed, or run at default JEDEC profile speed. Rated XMP frequency and stability depends on MB and CPU capability. Check G.Skill QVL or RAM configurator on the G.Skill website for validated motherboards. Do not mix memory kits. Memory kits are sold in matched kits that are designed to run together as a set. Mixing memory kits will result in stability issues or system failure. Number 4. Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro 16GB 3600 MHz. This is going to be our first, controversial pick. So, we'll get the disclaimer out of the way first, these are a bit overpriced. There is no reason for these to cost more than the others, especially since they're slower, but that comes with the territory of RGB. If you want a fix that's slower point and keep RGB, you can, but be prepared to pay for it. However, Corsair's RGB products are easily among the best in the industry, and they should work well with full system RGB setups. Corsair's Vengeance line is known to perform well with Ryzen CPUs, in general, so we're still happy to recommend this RAM kit, even if it does come at a little bit of a price premium. Brand Corsair. Computer memory size 16 GB. RAM memory technology DDR4. Memory speed 3200 MHz. Compatible devices desktop. About this item. Hand-sorted memory chips ensure high performance with generous overclocking headroom. SPD speed 2133 MHz. Vengeance LPX is optimized for wide compatibility with the latest Intel and AMD DDR4 motherboards. A low profile height of just 34mm ensures that Vengeance LPX even fits in most small form factor builds. A high-performance PCB guarantees strong signal quality and stability for superior overclocking ability. A solid aluminum heat spreader efficiently dissipates heat from each module so that they consistently run at high clock speeds. Supports Intel XMP 2.0 for simple one-setting installation and setup. Available in multiple colors to match the style of your system. Package memory pin, 288. Number 3. HyperX Kingston Fury 8GB. The HyperX Kingston Fury RAM kit is one of our favorite budget RAM kits thanks to its decently boosted RAM speeds and low price. It has a heatsink for added overclocking utility, and some users have even reported pushing it as high as 3000 MHz, which definitely can't be complained about at this price point. Our only issue with it is that it may not be ideal for Ryzen APU builds, especially the higher-end APUs. Ryzen 3 2200G might be okay. We'll explain how this works in more detail in the buying guide, but if you're buying an APU build with the intent to actually use its integrated graphics, we recommend bumping up to our number 2 pick so you aren't bottlenecked by RAM speed. For non-APU builds, though, this should be a perfect companion for Ryzen 3 and Ryzen 5 CPUs. Brand HyperX. Computer memory size 8. RAM memory technology DDR4. Memory speed 2666 MHz. Compatible devices desktop. About this item. Updated low-profile heat spreader design. Cost-efficient, high-performance DDR4 upgrade. Intel XMP ready profiles optimized for Intel's latest chipsets. Available in fast speeds up to 3466 MHz. Plug-and-play functionality at 2400 MHz and 2666 MHz. Number 2. Patriot Viper Steel Series Performance Memory Kit 16 GB. The Patriot Viper Steel Series is a favorite among enthusiasts, and this is actually our first truly high-end selection. There's 16 GB of RAM here for roughly $150, but cutting that price in half, you'd still be getting 8 GB of incredibly fast, low-latency RAM for only $75. While the 4133 MHz rate is likely beyond what you could reach with a Ryzen processor, this means it's more or less guaranteed to run well in the 3600 MHz range that Ryzen is known to reach, and it has a lower CAS latency. The price is a bit of a bitter pill for this one, but it's more than fair for what you're getting in return. Brand Patriot Memory. Computer memory size 8 GB. RAM memory technology DDR4. Memory speed 3200 MHz. Compatible devices PC. About this item. Capacity, 8 GB, 1x8 GB DDR4 module. Aluminum heat spreader with unique and specific design element. Feature overclock, XMP 2.0 support for automatic overclocking. Compatibility, tested across the latest Intel and AMD platforms for reliable and fast performance. Tested timings, 16-20-40. Number 1. G.Skill TridentZ RGB 16 GB. This is one of the best Ryzen optimized RAM kits, and it's pretty much guaranteed that you'll land a Samsung B die with this particular kit. This G.Skill TridentZ RAM is optimized to run at up to 3600 MHz with a CAS latency of 17, and thanks to the B die we know it'll almost certainly play nicely with Ryzen CPUs. The fast speed, plus the confirmed B die, plus the RGB, makes this our pick for best Ryzen optimized RAM, provided you can afford it. Or that it's even available, which it often is not. Even if these requirements aren't met, however, we're pretty confident that our above recommendations will also provide a great experience on Ryzen, especially the ones from G.Skill and Corsair. The only real issue we have with it is availability, though even third-party sellers are selling for about $170 at the time of writing, which isn't a bad price at all for this kit. Brand G.Skill. Computer memory size 16 GB. RAM memory technology DDR4. Memory speed 3200 metric tons per second. Compatible devices desktop. About this item. TridentZ RGB series, compatible for AMD Ryzen series, Intel Z170 and newer. 16 GB kit containing 2x8 GB modules, DDR4-3200, 288-pin, CAS latency CL16, 16-18-18-38, at 1.35V. Brand, G.Skill, Series, TridentZ RGB, Model, F43200C16016GTZR. ACC, no, dual channel kit, recommended use, high performance or gaming memory. XMP 2.0 profile support to reach up to the rated overclock speed, or run at default JEDEC profile speed. Rated XMP frequency and stability depends on MB and CPU capability. Check G.Skill QVL or RAM configurator on the G.Skill website for validated motherboards. Do not mix memory kits. Memory kits are sold in matched kits that are designed to run together as a set. Mixing memory kits will result in stability issues or system failure.